Good day, everyone. So, our part is about the external assessment. The first part is nature of external audit. So, the purpose of an external audit is to develop a finite list of opportunities that could benefit a firm and threats that should be avoided. As the term finite suggests, the external audit is not aimed at developing an exhaustive list of every possible factor that could influence the business. Rather, it is aimed at identifying key variables that offer actionable responses. Firms should be able to respond either offensively or defensively to the factors by formulating strategies that take advantage of external opportunities or that minimize the impact of potential threats. So, why would an organization conduct external audit? So the purpose of that is identify the opportunities and the threats from external factors to the organizations. It really gives the opportunity to the organization to see what opportunities are there that actually utilize and to determine that the threats could be happen in the future. So there are five broad categories of external forces. So I will report the three parts of it. First is economic forces. Second is social, cultural, demographic, and natural environment forces. Third is political, governmental, and legal forces. So the relationship between key external forces in an organization. The relationship between key external forces and organization may actually affect your competitors, your suppliers, creditors, customers. It affects the types of products, services, markets, and organization. Also, directly affect both suppliers and distributors. Identifying and evaluating external opportunities and threats enables organizations to develop a clear mission, to design strategies to achieve long-term objectives, and to develop policies to achieve annual objectives. So the first key external factors is the economic forces. This includes economic growth, interest rates, unemployment, inflation, and exchange rates. So first is economic growth. If there is economic growth, then more jobs will be created and more tax will be paid. Interest rates. When interest rates are high, business borrow less and invest less. However, they receive more interest on money saved in the bank. When interest rates are low, business may borrow and invest more, but will receive less interest on money in the bank. Next is unemployment. If unemployment is high, then firms have more potential workers to choose from. More competition for jobs means that this is easier for a business to keep wages down. If the rate of unemployment is low, then businesses will have to offer higher competitive wages to secure new employees. In inflation, when inflation is high, prices rise and customers may stop buying luxury goods and focus on essentials. Next is exchange rates. Exchange rates can rise or fall. When there is a fall in the pound, it has both positive and negative impacts on businesses. When the exchange rate for the pound falls, it becomes weak. A weak pound makes our goods cheaper to sell abroad. An economic variable of significant importance in strategic planning is gross domestic product, especially across countries. Trends in the dollar's value have significant and unequal effects on companies in different industries and in different locations. So these are the key economic variables to be monitored. So the next topic is social, cultural, demographic, and natural environment forces. So we have demographics, lifestyles, tastes and trends, climate change, weather, recycling, pollution. Demographics change is most commonly used to reflect changes in population such as birth rate, life expectancy, and levels of immigration. For example, statistical evidence shows that the UK population is aging. This demographic information is useful for firms who provide products and services for older people and is an indicator of the strength of the grey pound. Lifestyle. Lifestyle are changing too. We are more health conscious, so healthy foods and habits are becoming more important to the customers. Food packaging lists nutritional information. More electronic products, such as speedometers and fitness trackers, are being used. Next is taste and trends. Taste and trends are also changing constantly. So there are many companies na nagpo-produce ng mga product ng Korean, like foods, and yung mga outfits nila. So, sa panahon ngayon, maraming mga kabataan ang ina-adapt na ito. At dapat isa yun sa mga kumpanya na sundin at i-develop yung kanilang mga products para sumabay sila sa uso at hindi sila mapag-iwanan. So next is the physical conditions such as climate change and weather. So the weather can have a major impact on a firm's sales. Many products and services are seasonal and good summers mean the increase in sales of fizzy drinks and suntan lotion. Major natural disasters can have devastating impact on companies. The car firm Toyota was badly affected by the tsunami that struck Japan in March 2011. This along with the nuclear crisis at Fukushima that caused massive disruption to supplies and production. Toyota and many other leading Japanese firms will be dealing with the effects for many years to come. So katulad nga ng physical condition, so hindi natin ito mapipredict kung kailan magkakaroon ng mga disaster na mangyayari. So kapag nagkaroon ng disaster, na katulad ng weather at mga climate change, kailangan ng companies na magkaroon sila ng backup plan or yung plan B nila for their products to produce more. So if ever na pagkaroon ng ganitong pangyayari, kailangan maging handa ang isang company at magkaroon agad ng second plan. Next is green credentials such as recycling and pollution. So being a green firm is also important. Firms that recycle goods will attract customers who want to buy from companies that are environmentally friendly. Firms that work to minimize their carbon footprint or to cut down on pollution to rivers and the environment may also be more attractive to customers who are interested in the environment. Social, cultural, demographic, and environmental changes have a major impact on virtually all products, services, markets, and customers. Small, large, for-profit, and non-profit organizations in all industries are being staggered and challenged by the opportunities and threats arising from changes in social, cultural, demographic, and environmental variables. So these are the key social, cultural, demographic, and natural environment variables. So next is political, governmental, and legal forces. This includes tax, laws, political stability. Governments can raise or lower corporation tax, which will impact on profits. They can also affect businesses by increasing value-added tax on products or business rates. They can bring in new laws like the national minimum wage, which impacts on profits and employment rights. Governments can also introduce new health and safety legislation, meaning that a business has to change the way it works. Federal, state, local, and foreign governments are major regulators, the regulators, subsidizers, employers, customers of organizations. Political, governmental, and legal factors, therefore, can represent key opportunities or threats for both small and legal organizations. For industries and firms that depend heavily on government contracts or subsidies, political forecasts can be the most important part of an external audit. Changes in patent laws, antitrust legislation, tax rates, and lobbying activities can affect firms significantly. The increasing global interdependence among economies, markets, governments, and organizations makes it imperative that firms consider the possible impact of political variables on the formulation and implementation of competitive strategies. So these are some political, governmental, and legal variables. The last two broad key external forces is technological forces and competitive forces. So the next presenter will be continue to report it. Thank you for your listening.